Technology screens. We're reviewing and testing some products made by a fellow who makes screen paint by the name of Crow 1176. Goes by the name of Jamie Fernando. He makes a screen paint mix. He claims his mixes have the capability of being able to produce black contrast levels next to equal to Signature 17s and Nova Black. These are darker technology. We develop in gunmetal technology. He claims his screen paint has the ability to be able to pull white levels as high as a white screen. These are more of the lighter gray screen paint mixes he designs. Also, too, one of the things I noticed with the UV mix, which is one of the darker screen paints he has, darkest one he has, there are no tests on white levels, not one. And I have searched, I've not seen one white level. Now, keep in mind, even though we got the kitchen drawer full of the 18 certifies, we have to test that on every single screen, whether it be a light screen, gray screen, whatever it may be, has to be tested on them 18 certifies. I noticed that in demonstrations, there is not one demonstration of this product laying against a white surface or showing white levels or anything whatsoever to see how high the white levels come up on the UV mix. All right, so I finally got the screen called the Lux. We call it the Lux. Proper spelling for that name is, I think it's Luxini. Finally got the 60-inch sample sheet stapled down to a surface. That's the largest surface you're seeing right there. Next to the UV mix, there is the white surface, which is actually the Acoustic Pro 3 with the 0.9 gain. And next to that, we have Crow's UV mix, which claims that it can pull a very high white level, contrast levels, and just about everything else. But I've never seen any proper tests done on it. But then again, like I said, the individual does not do testing or proper testing on its products. So let's see what we get out of this. All right, so we're going to start off with white scenes, because usually that's what I do when I'm demonstrating the screen. We'll show off the white levels first. Then after that, we'll move on to different colors and so forth. On this demonstration, we're going to be looking for only white levels only to see how well the white levels pull up on the UV mix. Now, like I said, we have to do this all the time. We just did it yesterday against the Signature 17, which is a black screen right here. As a matter of fact, you're looking at it right there. And we were able to do several white demonstrations on snow, which we'll run it back on snow and just about everything else with a 0.9 white acoustic screen and a white sheet of paper, which I have to go get. But let's start it on here real quick. Now notice that when he had this particular surface right here, the Lux, we call the screen called the Lux, probably you know the name of it, we'll put the proper name of it. He had the screen called the Lux. He never tested that screen on its UV mix. He only tested it against the light gray screens. Why is that? Because if he had tested on the UV mix would have came up too dark and he would have got that kind of result. That's why he picks and chooses. When he brings a surface in there, he picks and chooses what surface he's going to use. When we bring this surface into here, we test it against the exotics. We test it against the signatures. We test it against the Nova, the gunmetal, the golds. We test it against everything we have in the shop. Just like if I bring someone's screen down here, it's tested against everything in the shop. We don't exclude it to one screen and say, hey, look, it passed. That's not passable. When you had the surface in your apartment, you should have tested the UV mix next to it to see how it was going to react. Now, you stuck near the lighter screens because you know they would show a better performance. Again, lying to your customers. But this is how your product actually pulls up next to that surface. And yes, that is a 60-inch surface that I bought from the company and finally got it stapled down to a frame, which is laying against the frame. Next to that, we have a 0.9 white screen, which we use in our demonstrations all the time versus our black technology. And this is how the white levels come up on the UV mix. Now we're also going to be doing some testing tomorrow, and I'll be showing you, we're going to bring out the 135-inch Elite white screen. And for those, you're going to sit there and say, well, hey, have you tested your product again? Really? You gotta answer me that question. I mean, you gotta ask me that question. Have I tested? Have I done any tests? Do I do tests? Okay. I thought not. All right, let's get some more white levels. Because I've never seen any white level test on the UV Mix. He'll stick the videos where the screen can blend better. This is why you don't see any white demonstrations on any kind of white snow or anything. He'll stick the high colors where the screen's going to show best. See how dark the surface comes up? A lot of tests you're missing. There's a lot of tests you're missing on that he hasn't displayed. A lot of them. For anyone to sit there and say, oh, but you don't test. Yeah, I do. Because anytime I show a certified screen, whether it be 10 or whether it be 5 or 6 on my screen, the first thing I display are white levels. You know why I show the white levels? Because that's very important to me to see that. Because the white levels allow me to see which one of the screens are producing too high of a white level. And I can tell from there that their colors are automatically going to fade the minute we start switching over the colors. That's information that's given to me. So that's why it's very important that when I do a demonstration against other screens that may be lighter than mine, that I have to display the white level. Because that's information I need to see. If I don't display those levels, I don't know how the screen's going to react. That's why white levels are very important to be seen first. And these are demonstrations you don't see under his product. Because he will pick and choose which screens will go against which sample sheets so he can come out on top. He has this material in his house. Not once has he done a white snowstorm or any form of white levels on that UV Mix. Not one time. He'll stick to dark demonstrations, that's what he'll do. Just like when he does demonstrations against on his other screens, he'll keep those in the dark. Because contrast shows better. That's like you have in the environment, contrast shows much, much better. You're missing a great deal of tests. But don't worry. Once the Cinemax gets here, I told you I'm buying a 4K projector. We're going to put your products on the 4K. We're staying on the 600 by 800 res projector. And we'll see exactly what screen comes on top. I'll even downgrade my projector. It's not a problem because I'm used to testing on low-end projectors. There you go. You can get a better view. So that's what you're getting. Supposed to show those levels. Very important that you show those levels. Get that somewhere where we can see that a little better on the black screen. What did I hit? I got a remote control in my pocket. Because that went into a freaking, I was about to say, that went into a freaking standby mode. I'm like, why is it going in standby mode? We have remote controls on us. There is my black technology, which is actually darker than your UV mix. Way darker than your UV mix. And that's what it does when a white level has to sit against that screen. You know why it's reacting that way? Because we test our products, that's why. When that product is designed, when that formula is designed, we have white surfaces downstairs that we're constantly putting against the screen, and we're spraying the screen down, we're doing it again, and spraying the screen out, doing it again, putting the white surface against it, and we're tweaking the technology to be able to come as close as possible to a high enough white level where the screen doesn't come up too dark. That comes from testing. That's a requirement needed through testing. But when you don't test your product at all, you don't know how the results are going to be. That's why our screens don't come up with that dark image at all, period. They can maintain their white levels. Even though the white levels might not be as high as a white screen or gray screen, they can maintain. Where the other screen can't, because it was never tested on white levels. And therefore, they don't even know where well, he doesn't even know where the white levels lay. That's why his image comes up dark. There you go. That's why you had to test. So that's why we find it funny when people do demonstrations and the screen comes up dark. It's because we test our screens on white screens all the time. That's why I have all these sample sheets in here. I know how my screen's going to react. If we put it against a Cinema Gray 5D, a Dark Star 9, any one of the Elite screens, pick one, name one, done them all, we know how it's going to react. You don't know how your product's going to react, because when you made your product, I guarantee you, you made it dark enough to pick up contrast, but the problem was you never tested your white levels. That's why your image is coming up that way. And we're on a 4300 lumen projector. That's why you were so bent on contrast levels that you forgot about the most important thing when it comes to a darker screen is the white levels. Skyworth food demonstration. Skyworth food demonstration. See, you were concentrating on contrast levels, but you didn't do your white levels. There's your white levels right there. So no, the UV mix cannot see white levels. You can see contrast to a certain degree. I can't see contrast equal to a black screen, virtually impossible. Our black screen, I can put a star field on right now, and I can turn his screen gray on a star field. So it can't pull contrast, and it can't pull white level. So where does it lay at? It's in limbo, just like the gray screens. The gray screens can pull, they can't pull white level next to a white screen, and they definitely can't pull contrast and color, so they stay in limbo. Let's go back there for a minute. This is why you know nothing about dark technology and you need to stay away from it. See how the fruit looks dirty right here? Look how it's all dirty, it's dingy. Look at it on the white screen right here. Look at that on the gray screen here. Mind you, my screen's darker than yours, so you have to take into consideration on that one. The screen is much darker than yours. Now, people that are bothered by this, hey, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it's your money. At the end of the day, my customers can walk around in a fully lit environment and look at their screens and don't have to spend a ton of money. It's your money at the end of the day. I'm just showing you what you're actually getting, why these tests aren't done correctly, and what you're getting when you don't test your products out correctly. There's my product right there, next to a white screen, showing the exact same piece of fruit. Keep in mind, this is a Signature 17. It has a coating attached to it that's black. That black level and that coating can see white levels. That's why when I lay this white certified screen against it, instead of the screen turning dark and the other screen maintaining a brighter level, the other screen washes out, while our screen maintains a nice vivid color without the image washing out. No discoloration, nothing. But if I take your product and I stick it next to this, then automatically your screen turns dark. Because this technology can read white levels. Your product can't. Usually it happens when you're using everyday paint. Everyday paint does not have the ability to read a white level unless it's actually white. See where I'm getting at here? Would you like me to get a little closer on that? Now I'll take the same image and I'll push it back over here. Now, you look at the image here. See how your image comes up dirty? The reason why is because your screen hasn't had the capability to read a white level. That's why the image is dirty. Because when you mix this product, and I guarantee I can tell by looking at it what's in it. I'm not going to tell you what's in it, but I know you know what's in it. I can tell by how it's reacting to the projector, the colors that's coming off the screen. I can tell what's in it. And there is no way in the world, what you have in there can't see a white level. That's why it's reacting that way. That's why your image is coming up dirty. That's why the white screen is overshadowing your screen. Where on our technology, we can overshadow the white screen. On yours, the white screen overshadows yours. Now, what he'll do is in his defense, and I hate to say it, this individual, what he'll do in his defense, he'll do a demonstration. We'll have none of these tests involved. He'll show some bright colors in a full lit environment. Says, see, it works. That's not doing the test. You have to test that product against white levels. That's what you should be doing. Showing your product, laying against a white screen, and displaying the white levels. That's what you should be doing. Not doing a demonstration where you have it in a somewhat poorly lit environment showing off colors. No, white levels. That's what you should be displaying on it. Anytime we develop a black screen, white levels always have to be displayed. Now this is the part where he'll show off the most. He'll say, well, look at the area right here. Look how the contrast levels, look at the colors, look how everything pops better on the screen. Again, you fail to show your customers the white levels. That's going to easily pick up on your screen. That's not hard to do. I'll show you. This right here is primer. This is a surface that I got. This is a primer I was using upstairs to coat the attic. any surface is going to produce what you just did, because like I said, you can't see a white level. This is primer that I had upstairs, like I said, for my attic. Everyday primer. This is what this is. Everyday primer. Right next to your screen. We'll do the exact same thing. That's everyday primer. You know, as you can see with everyday primer, everyday primer is not tested for white levels. "4K Snow Screensavers." There you go. Now we'll remove the primer off, and we'll just leave your product. Woo! Forgot this screen is extremely lightweight, very, very lightweight. There we go. So there's your product right there. Now we're going to pause it right there. Never say I'm not one to be fair. I'm extremely fair in my demonstrations. We're going to take the same image and we're going to push it over here on this screen, on this certified white screen, and see if we get the same dark image. Mind you, Signature 17 coating is jet black. The surface it's coated on is jet black. But see how your white levels come up next to the white screen? And this is that product called Lux. I call them Lux. That's what I call them. Mind you, like I said, he had the sample sheet in his house. Not once did he test this against the UV mix. He only did the demonstration against the lighter screens. Anytime we bring sample sheets in the house, they're tested through every single screen in the house. I got the videos to back it up. Just like I have the videos to back this one up if it ever comes up, and a discussion. I got this video to back up also. All right, so let's see what happens if we swing our projector over to our other screen here. If we can make the screen turn dark as we have it over there. Nope. You know why, Jamie? Because this screen can read a white level. The coding that's embedded in this technology allows it to read high white levels. Not high enough to be able to match a white screen, but high enough where the screen doesn't come up dark and dirty, dingy, unwatchable. Your UV mix does that. See, I can come on here live and back that up with no problem. I don't even have to do a pre-record. I can do it live. I know exactly how the screen's going to react because they have been tested. Your product, on the other hand, next to a white screen, has not been tested. That's why it comes up dark, because it can't read a white level. Guess what else can't read a white level? Everyday primer cannot read a white level because it's everyday primer. Does the exact same thing. Can't read a white level. Just like when I did the demonstration against the white screen versus the black Nova, and you asked me to turn the screen around to show off the black side of the screen, thinking that that was going to match the screen. We'll put that link below. You have to see, that's a very interesting one. And the other screen came up dark where my screen maintained a high white level. Yeah, we do tests. I test my screens against black screens. I have videos on YouTube of me testing my screens against black paint, black vinyl, black material, black cardboard, all kinds of stuff. There's no test on your UV mix on white levels, not one. You don't do them. And the reason why you don't do them, because if you did that demonstration, you would have realized that your screen would have came up too dark. That's what you would have realized. You have been cutting corners. All you're doing is doing tests that are fake. Now, if I'm wrong on this, you have the same sample sheet in your house. This is that Lux surface. You have the same sample sheet, which I'm using right now. That's leaning against your screen. It's also producing a higher white level than your screen, the UV mix. Take your UV mix, put it against that screen, any white screen you have in the house, and display your white levels. Because I can do it here on a black screen all day long. I can show white levels. I can show your product against my screen on white levels. I can show white sheets of paper against my screen on white levels. I can show certified white screens against my screen on white levels. You don't do that in any of your demonstrations. So how does your product come up on the white levels? Does it come up dark and dirty, or can it overshadow the white surface? Now, this is what he did in his demonstration. When he had the surface by the company who made this, I got this for $60 because here's this nice, good sized sheet. When he did the demonstration against them, he chose the lighter screen paints. Because he chose the lighter screen paints because he knew they would have a better chance of showing a better image against the screen. He picks and chooses which screens are going to benefit him best. That's what you did. Now, the sad part about this is the fact that if you're bragging you match this screen, we beat that screen behind it. And if we beat that screen behind it, that means we beat your product along with it. I'll demonstrate. In colors. The color red. And there's the color red popping up. This is how your screen compares to the Lux, right? Okay. Let's go over here. This larger sample sheet here. I'll take their product here. I guess I can put this table and move it over here, because this would be easier to move this over here. Or could we just leave it this way? I guess we could skim it. Now, if you really think that's going to pull a higher bright level than okay, but let's entertain it. No. There is no screen or gray screen on the market, not even a gunmetal screen that can come near black technology. Black technology, our technology, produces an extremely high white level for a black screen. It also maintains insane contrast levels and deep enough rich colors where you don't even have to contrast your projector. We just faded the daylights out of that screen. So I did that to that screen, and you were able to match that screen. What do you think I could do to your products? That's the part that's not clicking for you. And I tested screens way beyond that, certified screens, and they still can't beat that screen. So if I can beat a $5,000, $6,000 Parallax, Daylight's best screen, Dark Star 9, their best screens, what makes you think your product will be to stand against this technology? It doesn't. That's why you have to do those demonstrations of darkening the screen. Any screen that you claim to match, I can beat both of your screens at the same time. And that's what I'm going to do in the next few demonstrations. I'm going to track down, as a matter of fact, I probably got them all here. Any screen that you claim that you basically matched, we're going to beat both of your screens at the same time. This is the gunmetal dark screen, $5,000 projection screen by Parallax. I butcher the name every single time. You know that's going to happen. Now the reason why that screen is reacting that way is because in order for me to get that technology that way, we had to run tests, a lot of tests. See, the guys don't understand it. When we're tweaking these screens are being displayed. We have a big screen downstairs. We coat the screen with it, and we're actually throwing up certified screens against it, hitting it with tons of light, everything. And we're tweaking the technology to be better. It doesn't do any of these tests. There you go. See the screen right here? See the gain on that screen? This screen would eat your screen alive. You never beat this screen. We know the flaws in those technology. Those screens have the reflective surfaces. We know the flaws in them. We also know their weak spots. How they can't be viewed on an angle when our screens can. So no, you didn't test your UV mix. And if you claim you match that screen, then you didn't beat our screen. Because our screen beats that screen with no problem. Let's take your product here. You can hear I'm not coughing too much. I just got over half of my allergies. Cutting grass. It just rained yesterday. Why are you cutting grass when it just rained? You're not out of windows. You're gonna kill me. UV mix. No, Metallica mix. Right here. You claimed you beat this screen, right? Well, I think you did match the screen. I really do. I think you did match the screen. And if you did match the screen, then there's no way in the world you ever beat mine. Because I beat that screen. And not by a slim margin, I beat it by a huge difference between night and day. Which you can see the difference. Your personal mix. These are screens that you claimed in the past have turned our screens dark. The beauty of having double pane glass. I love it. Shut the window and the sound just goes, it's gone. All right. Your UV mix right here. Okay. We need you to stay. Thank you. Hopefully. I gotta get some more sticky tape today. See how your UV mix doesn't even produce a color? It's this dull gray look to it. Look at it. See that dull gray look to it? Doesn't even produce a proper red. Has a dull kind of gray look to it. Because your black levels are too high, that's why it's doing that. Here, your white levels are too high. White levels are too high, white levels are too high. That's why it's reacting and looking that way. That does not want to stay up there, does it, people? Let's get another piece of sticky for that one. That one can be worn out. Oh crap, took it downstairs. don't do these tests correctly, you have no one to blame but yourself. Because these tests should have been displayed on YouTube. And you didn't do these tests. This is why your product is reacting this way. This is why. Good gracious, that does not want to be there. Definitely does not want to be there. And that's a fresh line of sticky on there. And that does not, hear me rubbing that in? Rubbing that in like it's a minor zone, like it doesn't want to be there. Honestly, does not want to be there. I wouldn't want to be there either. Not laying against the Signature 17. That's a brutal screen. All right. Well, your screens don't want to be there at all. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. We'll do them one at a time. We'll get this one here. I'm going to have to go down to Amazon, get some really heavy tape. I need to build a Velcro screen. That's what I need to do. I need a Velcro screen. All right, let me find out all my stuff here. Everything we have here. So like I said in your video, they claim that you match this screen called Lux. If you match that screen, like I said before I put your product against here, what did I say? I said if you match that screen, that means we beat your screen. Because that screen didn't beat our screen. As a matter of fact, if you want, in case you forget and do something dumb like the 4K nonsense, you can go through my archives and you can look at all the screens that we tested. Because when I got that sample sheet in here, oh man, that thing went against everything. We did it against blue. We did it against the magenta. That's not going to stay up there. We'll get another piece. We did it against the magenta. We did it against the Nova, the Signature 17. We were throwing it against everything in here, and this screen was failing left and right. So if that screen couldn't pass any of the tests or any of the screens we have in here, what makes you think your product could pass any of our screens if you match that screen? And you definitely didn't beat a Dark Star 9. That definitely didn't happen. You really got to stop lying to people. I'll put you right there. You should be good right there. See? Really got to stop lying to people. Can't see color. Neither can that screen see color. I know it has nothing to do with the UV mix, but this will give you an idea. Anytime he comes in, he tells you he beat a screen, and knowing how many certified sample sheets we have, if you beat that screen, or bottom line is you match that screen, your screen is definitely getting taken out by no problem. There you go. We put y'all all side by side in the same group. All side by side in the same group. And watch me wash all three of y'all at the same time. Wash you out on a black screen. You don't know anything about black technology. The reason why you don't know anything about, not even dark technology, nothing about it. That's why your UV mix comes up so dark. It doesn't produce proper white levels. It comes up really dirty. And the reason why you never saw this because you were so concentrated on trying to get a darker screen to produce its contrast levels, you forgot the key feature of black technology and dark technology is white levels. It's a balance in there. You have to be to produce the white levels and the contrast at the same time. Now, you're going to lose more of one, but if you had too high of a white level, then colors and contrast suffer. If your contrast levels are too high, then the white levels suffer. Has to be a perfect balance. So that's why when I'm looking at the screen, when it's white, I can see the perfect balance in the white screen. Where when y'all look at it, y'all see it as, oh, it's the white levels are too low. And if the white levels are too low, then that means when I switch over to something with color, how come my image is pulling a much brighter, more vivid image and theirs is washed out? If my white levels were too low. Interesting. And we haven't even hit contrast yet. This is the screen's main capabilities is to pull heavy contrast levels. And we're just playing around in colors right now. So no, he's not doing tests like he's supposed to doing. He's just mixing stuff together. That's what he's doing. Much like in the video we showed you deleted, where he basically mixed black and white paint together. He's just throwing around some stuff. And when he does his demonstration, it's just it's the same thing. Paints it on a little piece of board, throws it up on a screen, have a half dark environment, high powered projector, and goes, hey, look how beautiful the image looks. Look at the contrast levels. You don't have any contrast levels. Your product does not produce a contrast level at all, period. You gotta stop lying to your customers about that. But that's gonna come out in the open because, well, we're doing it right here, but he claims the Cinemax can pull a contrast level equal to a Black Nova. We're gonna do that demonstration inside and out, Starfield only. That's how the demonstration is gonna be displayed. And we'll see if your screen can match a black level of a Nova. Now it's interesting when you see these demonstrations, you don't see him do these demonstrations because he's not going to do these demonstrations at all. He's going to skip these as fast as he can. Wait for a minute. Starfield screensaver. Put some cough drops in here. Starfield screensaver. She's not pulling it up. She's having a moment. All right, let's go clear. Let's go pull it up in here. She'll have her moments. I think the biggest lie this guy tells is the fact that she can do contrast. That's the biggest lie on the face of the planet. White levels? Yeah, you can do white levels. Color? No, you're not doing color. You definitely ain't doing contrast. See? And then some people would say, well, put the whatchamacallit up there. Put the UV mix. Put the UV mix up there. I want to see the UV mix's contrast levels because that's a dark screen. Remember what I said? I told you that the UV mix cannot pull white levels next to a Nova, and it can't pull contrast next to a Nova. This is what your screen looks like on a Starfield demonstration next to a screen that can produce a 100% black level. See if we can get you to stay up there. That's how you come up. That screen is literally so dark, it would turn your screen gray. There you go. Want to get a little closer look? That's why I explained to you, crystal clear, and I don't know why it doesn't sink in, Jamie, that your product shows improvement over a white screen. That it does do. But to compare your technology to what we do, and I say paint. You don't have technology, it's paint. You compare your paint to our technology to say that we're the same thing, not even, nowhere near even close. Panasonic 4K demonstration. Hold on. We'll go back to that. We'll do that real quick. I can blend your screen, being darker than your screen. I can blend it with no problem. There we go. We got to remove the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi gets a bit fussy in here sometimes. Let's go over and pull up this demonstration. Mind you, all this is being done in a fully lit environment. There's your contrast levels next to my black screen. You don't see contrast at all. See what I told you? It can't pull a white level, which means it can't compete with a gray screen. It can't compete with a white screen. It can't pull a contrast level, so it can't compete with the darker screens like the gunmetal and black screens. It doesn't pull proper color because the color comes out bland and comes out dark. So where does it lay? Nowhere. The only way he's going to be to produce a decent image off that screen, he's going to have to be in the dark, or if he does it in the light, he's going to have nothing against that screen to give it any competition. It has to be a standalone demonstration, which means there can't be anything in front of that screen to overshadow it. That's the only way he's going to be to pull off a demonstration on that screen paint. That paint is absolutely trash. That is definitely trash. That is primer. Every day, primer. This is the same primer I bought at Home Depot. Same thing. That's primer at Home Depot. Does the exact same thing. That's your screen paint. Now, if it was going to do contrast levels next to, let's do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. Hold on for a minute. Let me do something real quick. Let's do something interesting. We're going to take, I'm not dressed today, so I'm a little messy. All right, so you know. All right, so we'll take the Lux, and this is also to the fellow who made the statement. The reason why I bought this screen was not for Crow. I bought the Lux was because there was a fellow on YouTube saying, well, no point in buying screen paints because this particular screen right here that I have on display will be able to produce amazing contrast and color and so forth, better than black screen paints. Better than than my screen paint. He mentioned my name. Yeah, that was a big mistake, buddy. That was a really, really big mistake. You really should have basically researched my company before making that statement because I just shamed your screen. Big time. I mean, common sense would tell you if I'm beating certified screens darker than this or lighter than this, then what makes you think that's going to stand a chance against our technology? But he didn't do that. He didn't do his research. Another bull in the china shop. He made that statement, and that's why I went out and bought that Surface. Had it shipped here and did the demonstration and beat the screen. And not only did I beat this screen, I beat the screen on every screen I had in the house. Just to show exactly our technology is on a different level. But like I said, interesting, when Crow got it, or Jamie, or wherever he got it, he only tested the screen on the lighter screen paints and stayed away from the UV mix because he knew the UV mix was not going to be able to produce a high enough white level and it was going to come up too dark. That's why you never saw the demonstration against that screen versus the UV mix. Now, if he does it, I guarantee he goes near color. He won't do any white levels at all, period. Good. I never seen somebody just cut corners, just cut so many corners. Good. And you yourself would never pass a test facility. It would never pass. It doesn't even pass in here. But I can't wait to get my hands on that Cinemax. He hyped that paint up, just like the personal mix. He hyped up the personal mix to be something that it wasn't. It was supposed to pull contrast levels. It was supposed to do this, supposed to do that. That screen washes out. The Metallica Mix 2.0, you hyped that up. We washed that screen right on out. Let's go over to so we're going to run all these tests on his products. We're going to order some more. We're going to get some more of his stuff. We're going to run all these tests that he hasn't been doing. All these things he has not been showing you. We're going to show you these tests. And we're going to put our screens in the same test that your screens have to go through. As you said, you turned my product dark. Dark enough where you can't see it. And not only do I have your product laying against my screen, but I had this Lux screen, which is supposed to be a very high light silver screen, and my screen's still not dark, as you claimed it to be. There you go. Hold on for a minute. Hold on. Because I'm not dressed. That's why I keep on my camera aside. Right in the center of the screen, what did I put? I put the white screen up there. The white screen, which is actually at least screened at 0.9. That's how high the white level is on that screen next to my technology. And still, my screen's not dark. Matter of fact, your reds are not even picking up. They pick up on my screen. But, you know, he's a person of habit. So he'll go back to the same dark sheet and say, look, this is what it looks like. Dude, that's been done to death. I'm in a live demonstration with your product, with another light gray screen and a white screen next to my black technology, and it looks nothing like your demonstrations. And we're doing it live. Real time. Real time. Now we're just going by what he claims, that our screens pull this black image that you can't see the screen. That's what he puts out there. That's what he stands for. That's his, mind you, people trust, we're supposed to trust his expertise, his credibility to be able to do proper reviews. So he's doing a review on a product and he's telling you that that product pulls an image so dark you can't see it. How come when we do our demonstrations, we go over and beyond when we do demonstrations? Not only do we blow out your screens and any certified screens we throw against, but then we take white screens, we throw it against a black screen too. So we go over and beyond in our demonstrations. And still, it doesn't even match anything in your demonstrations. If I was a company, I wouldn't even trust you with a product review. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna give you a word of advice right now. If you think the tests that we do in here are brutal against your products, I would strongly suggest you basically obsolete that Cinemax, because when it gets here, the tests are going to be even brutal than what you're seeing here. We're going to run everything through that screen, everything. Fully lit environments, outside demonstrations, certified screens, white screens, everything. It's gonna be run right through it. Test against everything we got here in the house. Heck, matter of fact, I'll bring out Project 77. That weird, strange looking screen, and I'll put your product against that. Matter of fact, I'll develop a screen paint that day in 20 minutes and put it against that product and beat it. We're even bringing in a 4K projector for this one, because we're going to put you on the 4K, we're going to be on a 720p, and we're still going to blow your screen out of the water. This is why the Signature 17s today have a distributorship contract attached to them now. Because this technology right here can beat just about anything that comes against it. It can maintain amazing white levels, even against screens that are far brighter than it. Contrast, colors, no problem. Doesn't require a 4K or expensive projector to do it. And mind you, the screen sitting up there, the white one, is an acoustic. Our screen's also acoustic. That's an elite acoustic screen going side by side. Costs far more than my screen. Oh, put that bull in the knot real quick. The day these screens are going to be removed off the website, we have a company now taking over that part. So they're going to be, once they get their website up and going, you'll be to order from them. They also will be selling online and offline, because they got business offline. They're going to actually start distributing the screens off the websites, which is pretty cool. And they'll also be getting their own samples, which you're going to be doing, taking their own pictures and displaying the screens on their website, also to customers. Hey, Crow, you might want to have a look at that one. That's Black Technology. That's going to be displayed on another company's website, and they're going to be just doing their own pictures and have customers' displays up there. No contrast level at all. Not even picking it up. 4K white screensavers. Snow. I wonder if that went through. How can I get that to go through, but I couldn't get freaking Starfield to go through? So let's see if we can turn that screen dark as you did in your last demonstration. This is a demonstration you need to do today on that UV mix versus a white surface. Because you've never displayed your white levels on that UV mix. Never, ever displayed them. Look, I'm displaying mine right now. I'm displaying my white levels on a black screen, not only versus your product, but versus a silver screen and a white screen with a 0.9. But you don't display it on your UV mix. Why is that? So these are questions y'all need to ask. Why are you paying $107 for a product that you never saw white levels on? Walking in a wonderland. So here's the thing. We don't want to see any more of the whole, he's going to do it either way. That black sheet supposed to be our product, as you claim it's supposed to be. You need to start showing some demonstrations, some serious test demonstrations on your products. You need to, first things first, you need to display a contrast demonstration in a fluid environment, a Starfield. I don't even know how many times I've asked that one. Like too many times to count, right? What else do we need to see? You need to start displaying to your customers the white levels on the UV mix versus a white screen. Not colors, none of that, not contrast, white levels only. Starting off with an all white screen. That's what you should be doing. If I can do this on a black screen and I can show my white levels on my black screen versus these high-end lighter screens, white screens with no problem, you should be doing the same thing on your darker screen. You don't do that. All right, so let's take all this off right here. Here, if you want, I can stick this here too. That's another white screen right there, certified. White piece of paper, you stick that right there. See? So I can throw white screens all over my screen and it doesn't turn dark, unseeable. You can still even see the individual snows, the snow banks, the trees in the background, everything. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be as bright as a white screen, nah, ain't gonna happen. Not gonna say it's gonna be as bright as a gray screen, not gonna happen. Is it gonna turn dark and you can't see it? Nah, not gonna happen. But I have yet to see you do a demonstration on your UV mix, showing off your white levels. And you're definitely not doing the contrast levels that you do on these screens right here. We know how you do those in the dark. You never flip. But don't worry, you hiding your screens in the dark and lying about your contrast level, especially when you say you're equal to a darker screen. We're going to fix all that. We're going to do all your light gray screen paints, including the cinema mix, right down the side next to a black Nova. We're going to do a Starfield demonstration. Inside and outside, we've got so many tests to do. There's going to be so many tests to do that you've been skipping, that you haven't been doing correctly. You've been lying to your customers. So now let's take this. Let's switch this over. Take all these off here, and here, and here because we know you can't pull the contrast. Matter of fact, you know what? Come on. Let's put this here for a minute, right there. Let's put that there. And let's put this right there. All right. Okay. Look at the Subway commercial. I'm gonna leave that on right there. Look at the Subway commercial. Look how beautiful our colors come up. And we already know your UV mix can't pull contrast. We already displayed that. That product can't pull any form of contrast whatsoever. Slow color change out. Boy, reality sucks, doesn't it? It's like your screen wasn't even there. Look at that. Look how your blue levels pop up. Your UV mix can't even match the technology. That's your UV mix right there, your dark gray. Can't even match our blue levels. It'll do a little better here. It'll do a little better here. It will do a little better here. It will do a little better here, and here, and here, but not here. As I said before, your product does work if you're going against a white screen, maybe a light gray screen, but a black screen? No. No, 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 no. All right, so let's go back up here. This is the launch. This is the screen that he did not test. He never tested the UV mix against. Never. He did the Cinemax. I think he did against that. But he stick to the lighter screens. He didn't do any dark screens against that at all, period. I don't know why he didn't do that demonstration. You should have did it on everything. Anytime you bring let me give you a pointer. Anytime you bring a sample sheet, you have multiple screen paints, that sample sheet is supposed to be tested on every single screen in there. Because the customer needs to see how that screen's going to react to each one of your screens. If you single out one screen, then how would they know how the other one's going to react? Which means you're missing the demonstration. So you have to test that against everything. You chose certain screens because you knew they would show better. That's what you did. King corner cutter. And like I said, you said you matched this screen. Well, if you match this screen, then we beat the living daylights out of you because we beat the crap out of this screen. I mean, literally beat the crap out of it. So there's no way in the world we could ever come close to matching the we made. And if we were able to turn, this screen can't turn my screen dark. This one definitely can't, and this one has a higher white level than your screen. Look at the gain on that screen. Look at the gain on that screen, and it can't even turn my screen dark. And it's white, not gray. Vivistorm, white surface. Couldn't do it. White sheet of paper. Couldn't do it. But for some strange reason, your product and your area could do it. Interesting. All right, so let's come back over here and let's go over and get white screensaver. Something that you failed to do when it came to your UV mix. How come the UV mix was not tested on this surface? That's why you don't want me buying your products. You don't want me buying your products because you know darn well we're not going to baby your products when they get around. I don't baby anybody's screen that comes over here. Nobody. And you sure not paying me enough money to do it. It's not about the money, it's about the challenge. That's what it's about. To see where your screen lays at next to ours. Any company. It doesn't have to be you. It could be any company. How do you fare next to a white sheet of paper? You do white paper all the time. There you go. That's an everyday white sheet of paper. No expensive screen, no 3.0, 2.0, 3.9, whatever. Nothing. Just a white sheet of paper. That's all it is. You didn't test your screen properly. That's why it's coming up that way. You need to do the same demonstration. Show what those white levels look like. See this? See over here? I'll show you again. I'm going to show you again. See how my screen doesn't turn dark? See how it still maintains a white level and doesn't turn dark? No black spots, nothing. That's God's technology, Crow. That's the knowledge we get from my Lord and Savior. When he gives me instructions to do a job, he gives me instructions to do a job right. We don't half it over here. That's why your screen can't do that. And my screen's darker than your screen. My screen's black. Yours is actually dark gray. My gunmetal is darker than your screen and can produce a higher white level and color and contrast in your screen. I'll show you how good my Lord is and what he can do. There's your product right there. So how your screen turned dark? There's no signs, there's nothing behind your product. It is primer, that's what it is. Everyday primer. You spent $107 for a primer screen. That's what you paid for. What you did was when you did your demonstration, like I said, you want to put your lightest screen paint. That's why I know that the Cinemax is lighter than the Personal Mix. Because how it displayed the white levels, we can tell by looking at it. And if it's lighter than the Personal Mix, oh mercy, that screen's gonna get, I'm not gonna say too much. I'm gonna call it before it's gonna happen. It's gonna get crushed. It's gonna get crushed. And I'll be right, it is, it's gonna get crushed. But you need to address this issue first. You need to address the issue because you have that Lux surface in the house, you have that projection screen. You need to address this issue. You need to show your white levels on your UV. We already know you're not going to show your contrast levels when it comes to your screen. You're going to fake that as much as possible. But you need to take that sample sheet and you need to put it against that UV mix. sheet of paper. Now remember I told you, a white sheet of paper or a white screen is going to pull the highest white level. It's white. It's going to pull higher white level than the gray screen, which is the light gray screen, like silver kind of gray screen. It's going to pull higher white level than that. That's why we test them against the black screens. Because if our screen came out looking like that, then we would know there was a problem, that the white levels weren't generating high enough. Let's go over to, I want to go to Keystone. I want to pull up some of their white level demonstrations. Oh, hold up a minute. I don't want to go to J&K 4K demonstrations. I'm going to get some skin tones. That's why when you did this demonstration, you did it as a standalone, which means you had no other products up there to challenge the screen. You did it by itself, so that way no one can see the flaws in the product. But if you did this against a white surface, they would have saw the flaws. That's what you're known for. You do a lot of standalones. When anytime I test the screen out from showing off a demonstration, you know I'm going to go to that kitchen drawer. You know I'm going to grab those sample sheets. You know I'm going to throw them against the screen. I do it all the time to show you the difference. Because I don't like doing standalones. Standalones drive me a little crazy because it really doesn't show much of what the technology can do. You know what I mean? Only time when I do a standalone, I have to be in an insane, crazy lit environment. Like when I show all my screens going off at the same time and you see me walking around, that's when I can do that. You know what I mean? But other than that, just having a little small screen and you're just showing your product or you're doing a standalone on the UV Mix, no. You need to show the UV Mix with a white screen behind it. Show even a white wall doesn't make a difference, and you have to show your white levels. Because like I said, I've never saw white levels on the UV Mix. You're producing, see how heavy the contrast level is? Too heavy. That's why the screen looks like that. Way too heavy. Contrast levels are way too heavy. It's unbalanced. Definitely got unbalance going on in there. Definitely. There's an unbalance in there. The contrast levels are way too high. Now, I can take your UV Mix, I can put it on my screen with this, and I can blend right into your screen. I can put these screens up there, and I can produce an image lighter and better than that. Just did it on a snowstorm. Let's go over to TLC 4K demonstration. There's your personal mix. Right there. Now, when you're on YouTube showing people like, look, this is my personal mix, my Cinemax versus this screen, look how well it blends, look how well it matches. Didn't realize that we beat that screen, which means if you match that screen, we beat your screen too. Which I just displayed on the other end. Which is going to be interesting. We'll track down all the screens you claim that you did beat, and we'll rerun the demonstrations the proper way. Fully lit environments, low-end projectors, the way it's supposed to be done. Not cutting any corners. We have to redo all your demonstrations again because they haven't been done properly. For goodness sake, stop doing demonstrations in the dark. What is the deal with that? Look at this. Jamie, look. You see all this light in this environment? See how well lit my environments all the way through the time? When I set screens up here, right here in the doorway, we have light hitting here. We have light over top. My 126 that sits here, light here, light here, light here. In this room, we got light coming down here. Your environments are too dark, man. Oh, they're too dark. That's what you did. You chose to test it on this surface right here. You didn't test it on the UV mix. If you can't take that heat, you've got to get out the kitchen. Skyworth food demonstration. It's interesting how when I told you when we ordered this product, we wanted the Metallica Mix 2.0, and how he stole from us and gave us the wrong paint. Came back to bite you in the face either way. So you thought he was doing us ugly, and you actually did yourself ugly. And we still got your product over here. Still got it. We want it. Like I said, if we're wrong, and I have to do, keep in mind, when I do these demonstrations, I can't do these demonstrations solely toward him. I got to take these demonstrations and put it against my own screen. So I got to keep it fair. So you saw me take all this, throw it against my screen, throw the white paper against my screen, throw the 0.9 against my screen, the Vivistorm against my screen. You saw me show white levels, contrast, color. You got to be fair. Can't just display his products only. Can't do that. Got to put mine in there too. And I had no problem with that because my product's tested. So I have no problem putting my product against yours. You can't take that heat. You got to get out the kitchen. Dark skills saver. See? This is how your screen should be reacting. No dark environments, none of that. No, it's just my everyday window light pushing through. I can watch outer space in my living room. Or my projector sitting 18 feet back, not sitting on top of the screen, 18 feet from the screen. Is that sunlight pushing through? This is how it's done, Jamie. You want to compare your technology to ours all the time. You want to say you make the same thing we do, but yet you're still sitting in dark environments. This is what a fully lit environment looks like. I'm going to have to do a demonstration to show you what a fully lit environment looks like. Because I don't think you know what that means. Because we're going to have to do a demonstration on a fully lit environment. Look at the skin tones. I'm going to do these white levels for you. Like I said, looking at that screen, I was like, you never ever tested. I'm looking at this on this the screen you did. Keep in mind, people, the correct spelling for the name is Luxini. There's a demonstration. I'm like, where the frick is the UV mix? Like, you didn't take any of those. You took only 2 screens, or I think 1 screen. That was the Cinemax, and that's it. You didn't test against anything else. And at that, you did it in a dark environment when you did it. How does the UV mix stack up against that surface? How does the Frankenstein stack up against that surface? How does any of the screen paints you did? You only did 1 of your products. Only 1. Why is that? The only reason why you did 1 is because it would have a better chance in the demonstration versus the darker screen paint. That's why. Because the Cinemax would show a much better image. It wouldn't come up too dark at all, period. And therefore, you can show that you matched the product. Not showing the rest of the screens and see how they would perform against it. Which means they came up dark. You missed a demonstration. You missed a few of them. You need to go back, take out that screen, do those white levels on the darker screen paint to see how they pull up. And on top of that, then he cheated in the demonstration because the fellow who caught him on it, who actually promotes that screen, caught him on it and called him a deceitful liar, and he shouldn't be trusted. Yeah. If you want to see that video, I'll post at the bottom. Check that out for yourself. That's the same individual also to challenge my technology. That was a bad idea. Bad idea. My friend, that is dirty. I say your white level's not high enough. That's a problem. Primer. Everyday primer. Everyday primer. That's the exact same thing. Some people get mad over that. When you're mad because you bought it and you just found out you just paid $107 for primer? Okay. I'll be mad too. But what about your product versus black paint? Got a YouTube video, did it already. What about your product versus vinyl? Got a YouTube video, did it already. What about your product versus black cardboard? Did get your YouTube video, or did it already. Did those videos already. What about your product against black chalk paint? Got a YouTube video, did it already. Does your product work on 4K? Got a YouTube video, did it already. How about your product against certified screens? Got a YouTube video, did it already. How about your screen poured up outside 1,000 lumens? How many lumens can you drop outside? 1,000. Got a YouTube video, did it already. How big can you go on the screen? 180 inch screen outside, 657, 21 feet back. Got a YouTube video, did it already. There you go. You ever submerge a screen and freeze it? Got a YouTube video, did it already. Projecting on the ceiling? Got a YouTube video, did it already. Yeah, come on, man. Done all this stuff already. Ultra short throw, low throws, you name it, did it already. Never calibrated projector. Never had to. Have you tested against this one? Yes, I had. Have you tested against that one? Yes, I have. Have you done Screen Innovation? I got the court documents to back it up that we challenged their product, and they didn't like it. Did it already. Can you use your screens in a fully lit environment and walk around your environment? Got many YouTube videos did already. Paint on demonstration outside, did it already. On the video right now, you can go and check that out when you first come in. Did that one too. Paint on demonstrations, done a dozen of those. 22 feet back at 1,000 lumens with a 130 watt lamp in the middle of the screen, did it already. Can pull up a 190-degree viewing angle of a star field outside at 13 feet back on 1,000 lumens. Did it already. I even have demonstrations of companies displaying my screens on 500 and 1,000 inch screens. You want me to post one of those at the bottom? I'll post those too. My companies have actually tested our products. Yeah, did it already. Can you show me images from halfway across the room with window light coming in into your environment? Did it already. But yet, he can't show you anything like that. Where are your tests? Demonstrations, man. We're going to take all these off. Stand alone. Let's take this up here. LG snowboarding demonstration. I'm gonna start cleaning up my area in here while y'all watch that. Enjoy. I got a few invoices to send out today for companies. And y'all can check that out. You know what's interesting? I even have the YouTube video where you basically get on live and talk about how you sent me the darker product. And here we have it here, showing that your white levels don't even pull up. Boy, that bites you in the face, doesn't it? That's a good one, isn't it? Good bite in the face. Good bite in the face. That's Dark Star 9, by the way. You said you beat a Dark Star 9? No, you didn't. You didn't beat a Dark Star 9. There's no way in the world that that paint you're making is going to beat a $3,000 projection screen. That screen is gunmetal. This is gunmetal dark technology. We got to run that back again. We got to run that back again. You see how dark this screen is? This is an Elite Dark Star 9 with a 0.9 gain. He claims he beat this screen. No, you didn't. You didn't beat the screen. And I'll show you why you didn't beat the screen. Going back to the same video, right here. I'm going to put you right next to their screen right here. I'll show you why you didn't beat that screen. That's dark technology versus dark paint, right? Same thing over here. When we develop our technology over here, we can produce a higher, even though we have a darker screen than yours and the Dark Star 9, we can produce a high enough white level where our screen doesn't go dark. Well, your product can't do that because it doesn't have anything else in it but black and white paint. That's all it has, or probably black and paint. Whatever it has in it, it's not anything what you call mind-blowing. pretty much you could make it probably at a Home Depot or Lowe's. It's just a mixture of black paint and gray paint. And I'm going to show you. So the color of the Dark Star 9, right? Dark gunmetal screen. Now anytime they develop these darker screens, they know they're going to use tad white levels, but the screen has to be high enough to produce a decent image that you can see the screen, right? Okay. See the difference, Pro? See how your product is just producing this really dirty image? Because there's no technology in that product to be able to have the capability to see a white level. It's murky, dirty paint. This is why when you did the test or your demonstration against the Dark Star 9, you displayed nothing but colors. You didn't do white levels, you didn't do contrast, you didn't do anything at all, period. Look at the white levels on the Dark Star 9 compared to your UV mix. I hope you didn't claim that to be equal to that screen right there. Hey, everything's getting out in the open today. There's a lot of lying. A lot of lying and a lot of cheating. You haven't been honest to your customers. Not one time at all, not never, not ever. Have you been honest to your customers? This is what happens when you cut corners. When you cut corners, this is what happens. This is what you get when you cut corners. When you do fake demonstrations in the dark, this is what happens. Your stuff gets outed. Look at the white levels on that Dark Star 9 compared to your product. The reason why that screen costs $3 grand. We can beat that screen with no problem because that's why we have it here. That's why it's here to be tested. See how we stack up against it. That's why it's here. Let's add this in here real quick. You're going around telling your customers that you're saving them hundreds of dollars. How are you saving them hundreds, not even thousands, if your image is coming up so dark the screen looks basically unwatchable? Next to a screen that's a gunmetal. $3,000 projection screen. Where are you saving them any money? If anything, you're ruining their products. That's what you're doing. You're destroying their screens. You're not helping them, you're destroying their investments. Telling a bunch of lies, it's not true. The difference in the Signature 17 versus a Dark Star 9. My screen is at 148 inches. Costs my customers at 150 inches, around $348. A Dark Star 9 for 100 inch would cost you $3 grand. Where are you saving anybody any money? And yet, if I put that screen next to yours on this snow demonstration, your screen turns dark, unwatchable, where that screen maintains a beautiful image, the Dark Star 9. See that? Now, take the same image here. We'll put you right there. Same image. My screen was able to maintain its white levels, as this is designed to do also. See how dark it is? So what happened? Literally, what happened? See? This is why you don't see these demonstrations at all. This is why it doesn't show you this stuff. You didn't beat a Dark Star 9. You never did, never will. At all, period. Because everyday house paint can't beat a screen that has that kind of technology embedded into it. Okay, so we already know from the door, this is not going to see any form of white level. White levels on this are very, 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 very poor. Very poor. Very, very poor. Let's get this out of here. This is very poor. That's very poor. Very, very poor. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Very poor. Very, very poor. That's very poor. Okay. There's your personal mix, which is actually lighter than the Dark Star 9. And you lied again to your customers, because that screen is still maintaining a higher white level than your gray screen paint. See how much he's been lying to you all? He had this product. He claimed he had this product. He did this demonstration. He claimed he beat the screen. No, you didn't. These are the screens that we have to test against every day. All those certified screens to what my screen has to go through every day. Starfield screensaver. She's having her moments. Let's clear this. Let's go bring in a Starfield. There you go. Dark Star 9 pulls in a better Starfield demonstration than yours. So the screen maintains amazing white levels, being darker technology, which is interesting because you don't like any form of dark technology. Whether it be ours or anybody else's, you feel they all do the same thing. So here we have a Dark Star 9 that only was able to produce amazing white levels, was only able to produce and also produce contrast levels, which your screen can't even go near. Ring a bell? We do the same thing to your screen paint every day. We can basically put in high white levels. You can't turn the screen dark. Contrast levels, blow your screen out of the water. Produce colors, fade your screen. There's no way in the world you beat that Dark Star 9 at all. That's why I sat there and said on camera, he didn't beat that screen. You can't even match the contrast levels to it. That's why when you did the demonstration on the Dark Star 9, what you do? Dark environment, high-end projector. First thing he does is he uses a lot of colors to camouflage his screen. That's what he did. He never showed the strong points of a Dark Star 9, which is his contrast capability, because he knew his screen would be flawed. And that's a dark gunmetal screen. If you did your test correctly, you would have saw this in your test. This is what happens when you call yourself making mixes. Mixes, just throwing things together, mixing them together. No formulas, mixes. Just throwing things together. Sitting in the dark with a high-end projector, dark environments. Calibrating your projector, this is what happens. Cutting corners. You didn't beat a Darkstar 9. You never did. I know the performance of a Darkstar 9. That's a pretty impressive screen. You didn't beat that screen. You want to go with a cinema? You want to go with a Seymour AV 1.3? I got those in the drawer too. I'll bring one of those out and do that demonstration too. We got to cut this short because we're going over time here. We're going to do a demonstration with the certified screens versus his product to see how many of these screens he claimed he beat. Because, like I said, he lied definitely on the Darkstar 9. You didn't beat that screen. Where in the world you get these freaking kooky ideas, you silly rabbit? Don't you know tricks is for kids? Good gracious, are you kidding me? I've never seen somebody lie so much in a test. Really? You really thought you'd beat a $3,000 Darkstar 9? You have an idea how powerful that screen is? We test against that screen. And you sure enough can't beat one of ours. You definitely didn't beat that screen. The UV mix is trash. It is. It's trash. It produces horrible contrast. Contrast doesn't even match our black screens. The colors don't even match our black screens. The white levels don't even match. Just come up dark on every level whatsoever. Good. That stuff is garbage. You should not be selling that. You shouldn't be selling any of this stuff. Let's go in and get something else. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait, didn't you test against the Cinema Grade 5D? We got that in the drawer. We're going to be doing that one. We got to do a test on all these screens he claims that he was able to beat and outperform. That's what we got to do. That's what we're going to have to go and do. Because you're not doing your tests correctly. You're just not doing them correctly at all. And we're going to have to run through all your demonstrations to make sure they're done right. Because you're misleading people. Now, some of you probably sat there and said, well, Ken, I just saw that. I just saw his product basically come close to producing the color the same as the Darkstar 9. That don't mean jack. We beat both those screens with no problem. Darkstar 9 can't even pull color next to our screen. Do you need to see? Should I show you? Yeah, you might as well. I don't mind including my stuff in testing. I love doing that. That's the whole point of testing. That's the fun part about it, is testing. Testing, 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 testing. There we go. We got... Now we put the Darkstar 9 right here. You can't take the heat. You got to get out the kitchen. Song's stuck in my head. It's going to be stuck in my head for a while. Walking in the winter wonderland. Do 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 do. Color red. I'll get it. Should have put a larger piece on that. That's what she did. Don't do an outside demonstration. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You do an outside demonstration. You don't want to go outside with one of these nightmares. Don't do that. I'll be out there pulling Starfield demonstrations. You don't want to be out there in that craziness. We have to do some testing on some white screens outside, that's why. All right, sorry, I gotta pull the camera away. I'm not dressed today, people. All right, so here we are. It's not gonna go well, I'm gonna tell you right now, because our contrast levels are actually darker than the dark star line. Okay, there you go. There you go. Showed you. You're not going to stand against the technology, you can't. Technology is too powerful. It's too strong. If Elite Screens feels that I'm wrong in a demonstration, I'll gladly challenge you to a demonstration. No problem. You want to take it outside? I'll take out Nova 19 Sun Killer technology. I guarantee you, bar none, that inside or outside, if you want to do any demonstration, especially outside, and I've seen your technology outside, I will level every last screen you have outside. I'll wipe them clean with no problem. I can easily challenge companies like that. Challenge all of them. You have to have a lot of confidence in your product to do that. Do this with the lights on, lights off. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You have to have confidence in your product. Oh, that's going to keep falling off. Let's put this over here on top of this one. This will do better. This screen right here, it's hard to stick stuff to it. It really is hard to stick stuff to it. All right, there we go. There you go. You want to get out, you got to get out the kitchen. So if you didn't beat a dark star knot, you didn't. It didn't even happen. No, we wish it happened, but it didn't happen. Oh, see, you beat a dark star 9, or not dark star 9. You beat a wait. Let me see something for a minute. Let's see something for a minute here. There we go. That's what I should have did. I should have put it on top of the screen, which would have showed better results. There we go. That shows better way. There we go. But see, the problem with these screens, biggest flaw with these screens, they have this reflective coating. That's the bad part. The reflective coating takes away from the white levels on the screen. That's the problem right there. Is there no one here to challenge me? Sorry, watching Troy yesterday. Ever seen it? The movie? You saw the movie Troy? You know, every time I watch Troy, it reminds me of you being that huge freaking gladiator, talking all that trash, and I come out of there all calmly and nice and just poke you in the side of your neck and you just drop to the ground, and I come up to the rest of the screens like Elites and all them and say, "There's no one here to challenge me." I do my test, man. So I have my confidence level is through the roof. I do my tests. I enjoy a challenge. Please, any one of the companies, challenge me. Give me something to do. Give me a challenge. Or tomorrow, I'll develop something that basically will level everything. Give me a challenge. Someone say, oh, you're arrogant. No, I'm not arrogant. I'm tired of this freaking industry, man. I'm tired of these freaking fake demonstrations, these cutting corners. I'm tired of this crap. I am. And that's the reason why I'm probably going to I'm retiring, because I'm tired of it. It's the same nonsense, same bull crap over and over and over again. Every demonstration I watch, no one does anything challenging. Every last one of these screens, they do the same thing. Like this fellow just sat there and said, oh, I got my blinds fully open. Your blinds weren't fully open. They were completely shut. You couldn't even see objects on the other side. Are you kidding me? Overpriced, expensive projectors. You got to go through these protocols of, you got to calibrate your projector. I'm not calibrating jack. You got to be using ambient light controlled environment. So let me get this straight. You want me to turn my living room into a cave? That is not going to happen. Spend tons of money for these screens. Aren't cheap. They're very expensive. But show me something. Shoot, that freaking show, what was some kind of show they had, convention, E3, well, not E3, but some kind of show they had for projection screens. Literally, the cell phone camera, it was brighter than the hallway than it was in the actual room where they were doing the displays. Every screen was blocking the window. All the lights were behind the side of the screen so the light could push out from here to here. Nothing was hitting the front of the screen. That room was dark because the cell phone had a problem functioning, picking up images in the environment. It's fluctuating. Come on. Okay, if I had half the projectors that you guys did in your demonstration, please. It would be so easy, it wouldn't be funny. And here I am over here using old, outdated relic projectors, fully lit environments, and doing stuff that y'all can't even begin to even think of. That's why I'm taking my technology on another level. That liquid technology you see in the next room, 2 days left, Crow. That liquid technology in the next room, that's where I'm going. I've done this stuff already, man. We got a screen that took a direct hit from sunlight, Nova 19. No one could match it, including Crow. Couldn't match the demonstration. It's just, the industries, man, I'm tired of them, man. I'm tired of the nonsense, man. It's the same crap. I can go on YouTube, I can look at a ton of videos all day long. There'll be the same thing, everything that pops up. Ambient light controlled environment, expensive projector, dark windows. It'll be the same crap every time. I'm getting this up off my screen. People cheating in their demonstrations, not doing their tests correctly. You're going to bring a sample sheet like that in there. You only test it on one screen. You only test it on your Cinemax. How are you going to test it on one screen? How does that screen react to the other screen paints you have in there? Have you done any of those tests on the other screens? Why do you keep doing the same test over and over and over again? Same companies, they do the same thing, same tests. They pick out and they select the videos that they want to use. You ever watch an Elite screen show you a snow demonstration or any form of different colors, solid colors, anything like that, any displays like that whatsoever? I told you, I'll give you free screen paint for an entire year. You can have whatever you want for an entire year if you can show me one demonstration of one of those big companies out there doing their demonstrations on a 720p projector. Or they don't. They use the high-end, most expensive projectors they can get their hands on because that pretty much does all the work. Because people don't think when you watch those demonstrations, if you're using a $50,000 projector, do you really think you're going to get the exact same image from a $50,000 projector to your projector costing $3,000? No, you're not. You're not. That's like somebody saying, oh, no, you don't need to buy the Bugatti. Nothing against Kias. The Kia will do the same thing as the Bugatti. Oh, but it won't cost you $22,000 to get an oil change. I guarantee you that much. Bugatti will cost you $22,000 to $25,000 for an oil change. All right then. There's a huge difference in performance, isn't there? That's why I don't like it when the big companies use those big high-end projectors, because bottom line is you got to think which one's doing all the work. Then you're in an ambient light controlled environment. Guaranteed, but when you go down to a booth and you go look at this screen, you don't have that projector, and I guarantee your environment's probably not going to look like that environment. So the environments are going to change. To make sure you stay in that environment, they're going to tell you to get the maximum performance of that surface, you have to have this caliber projector, and you have to be in an ambient light controlled environment. You have now become a sheep. If I had to go through that nonsense, I would have just went out and bought myself an OLED TV. Because I don't have to go through that crap with an OLED TV. All right, a TV at that. Come in the room, turn my lights on, I'm good. That's what frustrates me about the industry. That's what frustrates me. I can go through, I do my research, I can go through dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of videos. They're all the same thing, that dark ambient light controlled environment. High-end expensive projectors. Calibrate this, calibrate that. Calibrate, not calibrate jack. Go to my website, look at my intro video. Outside, 6:57 in the evening. Playing my PS4, watching a little Star Wars dogfight scene. 6:57 outside. Projector sits 21 feet back. I paid $300 for my projector. Bought it used. A Sony VPL FA30, $300, that's all I paid for it. 4,300 lumens. On a 180-inch screen that I can turn to the side and show a 190-degree viewing angle. They don't do anything like that. Okay. That's that whole setup. Would have cost the customer probably about under $1,000. DMP Supernova, 180-inch, not even outside, $18,000. Where is my remote control? Okay, this is the one that goes to this one here. Yeah, that goes there. Oh, yeah, no, is this it right here? I don't think this is. This is for the other. And you got these screen paint hobbyists that don't do their jobs correctly. Jokers sitting in the dark, claiming things that they can't do. See that, Jamie? See, when I get done the demonstration, I can fire up my $59 projector, not $4,000 P2 projector, $59 used, outdated projector on my screen that's 148 inches in a fully lit environment, and I can see my menu crystal clear. There we go. Looking at a lot of out of space while the sun pushes in on my 720p SVGA 600 by 800 res projector. You couldn't even begin to fabricate this. I'm going to watch my fish. 4K tropical fish. Getting that from YouTube. And you spent all that money for a projector to be sitting in the dark right now. When I only spent $59 for my projector. And you want to talk about how my product doesn't show up on 4K? Heck, you don't even show up on a 720p projector. I can prove that today. You don't even show up on none of the projectors we have in here. Nothing, because your screen can't see color, contrast, or anything you can pick up as a white level. That's it. companies sell you a whole lot of money for they want to spend. This is an Elite screen, by the way. Elite, this is your screen, coated with gunmetal technology. I got that screen in bone white. It cost me $480 because it was an edgeless screen. That's why it cost me that much money, because it was edgeless. $480. Cost me less than that if I was a customer to paint it and convert it into that, and then use it to beat their top screen. Went out and spent money for a $68 motorized projection screen, coded that, got the video on YouTube, used that to beat a $3,000 Darkstar 9. How beautiful the colors look. We'll stand back here so that we can get a shot of my cheap projector, eBay projector, and my screen at the same time. Doing fake demonstrations. You need to take that UV mix, whatever that mess is, and you need to do that demonstration again on that flux or white surface. You need to display your white levels because that screen's coming up way too dark. Speaking from a person who knows what black technology is and how it's supposed to come up, this is coming up way too dark on white levels. It is coming up very dirty. And you need to do a demonstration today. If you feel that I did you wrong and you feel I wasn't proper, I wasn't thorough in my demonstration, I think I was quite thorough with the demonstration. But if you feel that was wrong, all you got to do is just take a white screen, put your UV mix up there, make sure it's the same color I have here in the container. Don't make it lighter because we have your product right here. This is your container. Do the demonstration, show your white levels. Since you want to go on and on about how our screens are supposed to be so dark and we can't pull up images, well, don't you make a dark product? Then guess what? Let's see those white levels today. I bet she doesn't do the demonstration. All right, that's the do-ha. That's the do-ha. I gotta go feed my animals today too. And I got to send invoices out. And I got orders to do today. This is actually I think that flux screen is about the same price as this product, but my shipping was free on that one. We might buy that thing instead. Where did I put it at? Yeah, it doesn't crack on top. It doesn't crack. Oh, man. Another killer hot day today. All right, another one there. Wait, which one is that one? This is the other one. This is the one over here. Come on, check. All right, that's this one. That one over there. All right. This is the surface for that one. Over there. If you're curious where I got the projector from, you can get them over on eBay for 130 to 180 bucks. If you're interested in getting one of those projectors. I would go with I'll put the model number, the one I'm using in the demonstration. Go with that model. It's actually the best one. Okay, no. This is the other one. Okay, this is the one for the test demonstration right there. That's the one which will just watch me go around my house, clean stuff up real quick. You guys can check out the screen while I'm trying to sort these things out. Because I'm going to make some phone calls. And I have to finish off a few other things with some other contracts I want to work on today also. See them nice deep blues? All that light, them nice deep blues. That's what you want. And this projector's not calibrated. You don't have to calibrate your projector. You don't need to do all that nonsense. They tell you that stuff because their screens don't come up properly. That's why they tell you that nonsense. The reason why, like I said, because we've done our test. When we have projection screens that are being displayed outside, we test that. We have put a camera out there and we see how long it takes for the screen to activate. That's how I know when the screen activates. How do I know how many quarts it takes to paint a screen? Because I do it quart by quart. So when I did the ceiling, I did it quart by quart. So I know exactly how many quarts it takes to paint the screen. That's how I know all this stuff. You honest, you gotta do all that testing. What are you? Oh, gee whiz Louise. Lost the remote control. I stay losing the remote control. That's the story of my life. Stay losing remote controls. Oh, here we go. I left it in the pantry. Bah! Starfield screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
This could be you, binge watching the ocean, crushing on your favorite character, tuning in to the people you love. When you're ready, we'll be here. To new memories.
I'm going to show you something you can't do, Pro. Can't do mine. You're supposed to be equal to our technology. Do that. Show a Starfield demonstration. Go ahead and fire it. Color blue screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
You know what's interesting about that projector? That projector is only designed to do a screen size of 80 to 100 inches. Go to Projector Central. When I put the number down or the model of the projector, look it up. Go to the screen calculator. You can't go any farther than I think it's 80 inches. That's it. So that projector was only designed, I think, to do an 80-inch. That's it. It was designed for schools and offices and stuff like that. They were never designed for home theater. My screen's 148. And it still maintains a bright enough image. And as you can see, it's doing a same distance throw for an ultra short throw. It's sitting back quite a bit. As a matter of fact, it's sitting back just as far as you would have a short throw projector. So I'm doing a distance throw on an ultra short throw in a fully lit environment, and I'm maxing out the screen's capability because I am way over 80 inches and still maintaining a deep blue to be able to blow out that surface right there. So people were flocking to those knockoff projectors because they said that valve projectors, you can get 150 inch out of this projector. I have yet to see anybody display 150 inch on that screen. Yet. The problem you have there is, if you're using pixel shifting technology, and if it requires for the pixels to be tighter together, which means if you expand the picture size, you're stressing on your pixels. Take a projector, you push it up to a screen, the closest to the screen, the tighter the image is going to become, the tighter the pixels are going to be pushed together, the sharper the image, the brighter the image. So if you expand it out and it's using pixel shift and doesn't have native 4K, and you push it back to 150 inches, you're already stressing out the pixels. So how in the world are you picking up a 4K image if you can't use pixel shifting because you don't have enough pixels to make a 4K to begin with? Huh? People don't think when they make these things. We're going to figure that out. So in order for the projector to maintain this sharp visual image, it can't go past 120. There you go. That's why you don't see them at 150 inches. And that's why when you see them basically in an environment, the environment is always ambient light controlled. It's dark. I don't know whose freaking living room is that freaking dark to begin with. You know, vampires? All right, people. I'm actually doing pretty good today. You know, usually I have a little problem with breathing in the morning, but breathing's good. It's fantastic. I mean, it's hot in the house right now because my air conditioner's running in here because, you know, I don't want the noise to come over top of the projector. But I'm going to sign out here real quick because I got to ice this place down. So this is pretty hot out there, and I don't want to push it. All right, thank you all for your time. Got to go, and God bless. And as I said before, man, when you're putting your money out there for these products out here, you have to really do your research to see exactly what you're getting. Watch the demonstrations. And as I said before you buy from us, go do your research. Look around. So many people do demonstrations on our level, then get back with us. As for Jamie, no, he's faking crazy. He's faking demonstrations left and right. I still want to see that demonstration on that UV mix versus that screen right there, that Lux. All right, gotta go. God bless.